The time has come for the people of God to speak to the people of God. This is God's holy word, and this is our segment called Real Pastor Talk. We have another segment that we do teachings on, and we have a segment where we also do sermons on. So please do check out the sermons and check out the teachings. On the teachings, we do a daily message that comes to you every day as an inspiration. This is our segment that is entitled Real Pastor Talk. And this is Real Pastor Talk because I will tell you things that perhaps your pastor won't tell you, but he should tell you. Real Pastor Talk is about the real events and things that are going on in the news and in the world today. It is a biblical perspective, but it is also the unbiased, unbought, unfeathered, and untethered truth. It is what is real, which is why it is labeled Real Pastor Talk. So, on tonight, let us have a conversation around the resistance of 2025. The resistance of 2025. The awakening of 2025. How the game is officially over. How Trump essentially opened the door by calling his people stupid. But when he opened that door, he has essentially laid out who America really is. That we are a nation full of false Christians with false Christian values, and the fact that all of these governments, our government, all world governments, are Ponzi schemes. All world governments are fake. Let us contemplate and let us think about these things as we discuss upon tonight. I would ask that you please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe because if you share the know, then the show will grow. And if you share the know, then the word will go. Before we begin, I believe in giving you a full disclaimer because I am a minister of the gospel. And so, in any conversation that we have together, my mission, make no mistake about it, allow me to give you my mission in the forefront because I do not do sneak attacks. My mission is to make America righteous. My mission is to make the world righteous. This is God's holy word. We are the new and the true media. And so, as such, we will keep it that way. But I want us to contemplate a few things as we go forward here. I want us to contemplate the type of world that we live in. I want us to contemplate the values that we say we have here in America. And I just want us to think about these things as we go through the motions, as we go through the conversation upon tonight. So I want us to contemplate a couple of things here as we go forward. I feel as though America within itself at this point in time, that we are, as an individuals, we are a sick society. I feel as though we are a mentally drained society. I feel as though right now in the world, everybody is caught up in their own personal tribe. And as a result, the establishment, the government, has essentially made enemies out of 70 plus million Americans on each side as a result and as a form of control and containment. So allow me to give you my thought process and my points for these things. Um, Let us first contemplate the COVID um, virus that occurred 2020 when the whole world was shut down. What was that? That was a test run on control mechanisms via the government. And the government found out that if they use health or humanity, they could essentially shut down and control society. Let us move forward into 2025 where we are today. The test run that occurred in California, that is a test run of how to control a population and how to control a society. That was the test run. And you see, the bigger thing about these test runs is that the opposition is less and less in each scenario. And so, with the opposition being less and less in each scenario, then that is empowering the establishment to understand that, hey, they could pull this off because people are resisting less and less because we as a society, we are being conditioned and we are being controlled and we are being manipulated and we are living it and loving it and lapping it up on a daily basis. And we have yet to figure out that the game is over. You see, people made a mistake about making Donald Trump such a big issue. People love to hate Donald Trump, people hate to love Donald Trump. And I myself, I criticize Donald Trump when things are wrong. I give Donald Trump credit when things are right. Border, give him credit for that. The way that he's handling ICE and immigration, can't give him credit for the way that it's being done. You can give credit for some of the numbers, not for the way that it's being done. We can't really give credit for the numbers because the numbers are less than the numbers that Biden and Obama were deporting. So, but the fact that the border itself is closed, you have to give him credit for those things. So, I do not play what is going on in society from a Democratic or from a Republican side of it. Because I must say to us as a society and say to us as a people, as an American people today, uh, as I told you, my mission is to make America righteous. My mission is to make the world righteous. So I say to us, let us have a political conversation. But you see, in today's society, having a political conversation is scary because it could end up all over the place. And so then I will say to you, I'll tell you what, let us have a conversation about uh, the Word of God. Let us have a conversation that is a righteous conversation. And then the interpretation would take upon what your views are of God. And so then I would say, well, let us simplify the conversation, which is what I'm attempting to do on tonight. Let us simplify the conversation and just base the conversation on the simplicity of right versus wrong. Let us just base it on something as simple as right versus wrong. Because as a society and as humans, we all innately know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. And so I would have us think about a couple of things here. The United States of America. Let us go back 20 years from where we are now. That would put us in 2005. 2005, America national debt was over $6 trillion in 2005. Since 2005 up until 2025, where we are today, America's debt has grown. America's debt has never been even in the past 20 years. We have never been debt free in the past 20 years. Okay? Never. We are now over $30 trillion in debt. And yet we live in a society where we have more billionaires and trillionaires than ever. And you see, I want us to think about what is being said here because the way that they keep us in a box, the way that they keep the majority ignorant, is because we are programmed and trained to look at these successful people, the Jobs, Steve Jobs, the Elons, and say, you can aspire to be that person, as opposed to realizing that not just in America, if you take it globally and you take the whole world, 1 to 10% of the entire population of the world has all the money. The other 90% of us, everybody under that, the 90% of the world don't have the money. It is as essential and as simple as that. The people that make the most money, the top 10%, let's use America, pay no taxes. The taxes are provided by the 90% that do not have the money. Let us also factor into the fact that the tax breaks that are given to that 10% is paid for by the 90% who don't have the money. So we live in a society in the past 20 plus years that has always been a debt ridden society. And yet we have more billionaires and trillionaires, more billionaires and millionaires than we have ever had before. The richer get rich as the poor get poorer. And yet we are being told that we are in a better place than we have ever been before in our lives. And you see, the sad part about the society that we live in today is that we live in a society that is so sick. We live in a society that is so morally corrupt. We live in a society that is so far removed from God and from the Word of God that the human mind will justify anything. The human mind will make a lie the truth. And the sad part about where we stand in society today is that no one gets upset until they get offended. Nobody was upset with lies being showed on a video of graves from different countries that did not exist. Nobody was upset when lies were being verbatim told to you directly in your face from this government. Nobody was upset about it. You only found yourselves upset when he called you stupid, and that makes you actually stupid. Because you are not upset that you're stupid. Americans are upset that the person who has been making you stupid called you stupid. You see, that is as insane and a sure sign of being sick as a society. That is a sign of being physically, mentally, and spiritually sick as a society. Because for you to understand that you're being stupid, for you to know that you're being stupid, and for you to accept that you are being stupid, and to only be upset by you being stupid when the person who is making you stupid calls it out, really makes you stupid. And yet, this is the world that we live in today. And we live in this society because you see, society, you fell for the trick and you went for the bait. What I mean by you fell for the trick and you went for the bait is that every team knows that the players are a unit against the coach. All employees know that the employees are a team against the boss. All citizens know that it is the power of the people versus the government. You see, what they have done is they have fooled you. You have been tricked. You have been programmed. You have been diagnosed to be easily susceptible to programming and tribalism. And all I have to do to separate you stupid people in America is put you in a side and ask you, do you want to be a Democrat or a Republican? And you'll separate yourselves and tear each other apart without anybody doing anything else. Nothing else is needed because you will support your tribe, whether they are right or whether they are wrong. You will support your tribe and follow them directly down a path of destruction, even if that means that you get destroyed yourself. because this is where we are today in America. Donald Trump had it right when he called you stupid Americans because half of us really are that stupid. For us to believe that a nation that has been riddled with debt for 20 plus years is still leading the world, that is stupid. For you to believe that the government is on your side, that is stupid. You see, many people hate Donald Trump, love Donald, whatever the scenario is of how you feel about Donald Trump. I say, God bless Donald Trump. Because you see, whether he did it by accident, because I'm quite sure he did not want the power structure of what is going on in society to be just blown wide open. You see, he did not intentionally do this, but you see, he mistakenly did it when he was trying to hotshot and do his little tariff war. But you see, what has really happened is Donald Trump has opened the floodgates and opened the door for every person, not only in America, but everybody in the world to see that your government is all fake. Your government, it is all a Ponzi scheme, and it does not matter what part of the world you live in. The 1 to 10% of the rich people, those are the people that are getting paid, and the other 90% of us are the people that are paying for it. The 1 to 10% of the wealthy upper class, they pay no taxes, they have no expenses. We, the bottom 90%, pay all of their fees, all of their bills, and we are their income. You see, what has happened with Donald Trump, why I can promise you that it is so glorious, is because Donald Trump has opened the door that now we are forced in a situation that you have to think about. And so, since we have to think, let us think together as a group because I tell you, the awakening is now. The resistance is now. You see, the game is over. Because let us think about what has truly happened in the past 6 months. You say, well, the rich people say the stock market is real. President can say something, the stock market goes up. He can say something else, and the stock market goes down. That's not a real market. America can place tariffs on the whole world, and the whole world will pay them tariffs. But follow this, okay? America tariff Japan. Japan owns $1 trillion worth of American debt, and they allowed America to tariff them. That is fake. America tariff China. America can't build a bomb, a cell phone, a submarine, a fighter jet, a play jet, a toy jet, or a whirlpool jet without China. But you tariff China. Who would allow that? That is fake. You get your oil from somewhere in Saudi Arabia, somewhere in the Middle East. You tariff them. Who would allow that? That is fake. These countries own all of America's debt because America is a debt ridden country. And yet, the person who owns your debt owns you. The person who allows you to build things and buy things from them, they own you. And yet we are supposed to believe that these countries are going to allow America to tariff them. This is all fake. And you see, there was a time in America where the people understood that the government was not on their side, and you have been hoodwinked because somebody came to you and told you he wasn't a politician to fool you, and you fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But he is a politician. Okay? The game for America, you see, the game is over because we as a society, we must realize that we are part of a Ponzi scheme. All of these governments around the world, they are all fake because your question comes back to, if you are $37 trillion in debt, who is paying these bills? It's obviously not the rich people. It must be understood that NATO, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, okay, even the OPEC. Let me show you how you know all of this is fake. Okay, this is a group of people who have all the money, and as a result, they control the world. But this is all fake because they're making all the poor people pay for everything. Okay, Donald Trump can call OPEC and get them to lower the price of oil whenever he feels like it. That lets you know that that is a fake government. The IMF, the IMF and the World Bank, they can take away loans, give loans to anybody in the world as long as America and the West agrees with it. That lets you know that is a fake bank. It is set up to be the do boy or do whatever the West tells them to do. The ICC, the International Criminal Court, okay? America tells them, no, we're not going to let you lock up the guy from Israel. No, we're not going to let you do that. No, we're not going to follow any of your rules. And the rest of the world sits back and says, well, that's okay because America's doing it. That informs you that all of these governments are not real. These governments are all fake. These governments are all set up as a system where the rich get richer and rob the poor at all costs. Let us not be mistaken. You see, we are in a situation and scenario in America where we are a sick people. We are a sick group because we are all caught in our own individual tribes. We want to be Democrats. We want to be Republicans. We're caught up in the race. We're caught up in black. We're caught up in white. We're caught up in so many things that are opposed and are in opposition to the Word of God. Now, full disclaimer, as I gave you before, my mission is always to preach and to teach the unadulterated Word of God. My mission is to make America righteous, to make the world righteous. That is my mission. That is my goal. And as I am in the world but not of the world, my ministry is the world, which is why this is real pastor talk. So I will speak on things that your pastor will not speak on. I will tell you things that your pastor will not tell you, and I will give you the truth of what is real, whether they like me or not. And I have accepted it, not because of the preaching, because when it comes down to preaching, check out some of those sermons. That is not the issue. I have accepted the fact that if I will never be at the head of a mega church because I refuse to be bought, I refuse to be bridled, and I refuse to be turned away from teaching and preaching the truth of the gospel. But I will also preach the truth of society. I will also preach the truth of the world. And I will also tell you not only what is right, but I will tell you what is real. And so I tell us as a people, you see, we need to get away from politics. What I mean by get away from politics is stop allowing your political party to define who you are. Get away from that. And at the end of the day, realize that we are all just people. And the things that we have in common, the problems that people have as a whole, you have more things in common than you have that are different. But do not allow yourself to be fooled, and do not allow yourself to justify a lie in your mind. You see, that is the importance of the resistance of 2025. The awakening of the world is right now, which is why I said God bless Donald Trump, because you see, when he called his own supporters stupid, that allowed them to snap back into reality and realize that we have been following somebody who has been lying to us the exact same time, and we knew it was a lie, but because we liked him, he's Republican, he's in our party, we're MAGA, we're on his side, we're just going to agree with whatever lie is told and go ahead and ride with that. And now we have reached a point in the world. We have reached a point in society. We have reached a point in our lives where you realize that if you keep riding that train, if you keep riding that boat, if you keep going that way, where you allow yourself to take a lie and make it truth, then that is a train and a path and a trail that leads to self destruction. The awakening is now, my people. It is time for us to open our minds. It is time for us to speak the reality and speak truth to power. And it is time for us to unite as a people. The time is now. The resistance is now. And the awakening is now. Allow me, please, to give you another verse for another day on this earth. If you would, please, let us read Second Timothy. Second Timothy at chapter 4. Second Timothy at chapter 4, verses 3 and 4. I use the King James Version. Whichever version you use is all right with me, as long as it gets the job done. Second Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. You see, we are now living in an alternate reality that is of our own making. But I say to you, there will be a part 2 and a part 3 to this video, but I say to you, the resistance 2025 is now. The awakening is now. I say the game is over for ignorance. The game is over for false Christians. And it is time for us to realize that all these governments are fake. It is time for us to resist. It is time for us to awaken. It is time for us to empower the people, because you see, the power has always been, will always be with the people. And the people find their power from the spirit that lives within them, which is the Spirit of God. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are the new and the true media. May God bless you and keep you.